Oh, Jack Ray. Did you ever hear tell about the Japanese brothel that used to be here in the old days?
Oh, I've heard him often talking about it.
Yes, it was apparently down there beside the Bishop's Palace.
Oh,
Right next door. And it had tall corrugated iron fence painted bright colours and no gates. You know, and all the neighbourhood kids used to go down there and look in to see, but it was Japanese, and there were 2 of them, apparently, and they reckon that there was sort of part of a worldwide, not a plot, but they used to buy and sell these girls into slavery, daughters of poor farmers who couldn't afford to keep them.
Oh, yeah.
And they was organised, you know, in Manila and China, all the treaty ports and Singapore. But apparently they even got down as far as here. Yeah. There was these 2 Japanese houses in Geraldton, which sounds a little bit sort of exotic for Geraldton now, because you're such a respectable town.
I've heard about it before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very interesting, and apparently there were quite a few Japanese. What was Japanese?
Used to be in Leicester Avenue there somewhere.
It could be. Well, there were 2 anyway, and it was very interesting, because apparently it was the only place in town which was painted in bright colours. And everything else was in brown, government-coloured brown, you know.
This Bishop Palace you were talking about, is that the one in the tourist pamphlet where they said the woman hanged herself in the backyard?
I don't know. Didn't see that.
His name was Don Miller. His people were pretty well to do. But Don was a no-hoper, you know. It was more or less a war neurosis case. When he come back from the war, he was useless. They always were no-hoper anyway. And his people had a good farm there, and they used to breed stud pigs. They used to always take prizes in the Royal Show and that for them, you know, like they used to, you know, really going for pig breeding. So when they used to go away, Don used to look after the place, and he used to start slaughtering these pigs and bringing them in, and he'd go around from house to house in Mallow, you know, taking orders for pork, see, and selling them, you know, just to raise the money for grog and that. So he's going around this day, kill this pig, and he goes around, oh, I'm bringing in some nice pork on Saturday, yes, would you like some? Yes, I'll have a leg. And then he goes next door, oh yes, I'll have a leg. Yeah, oh yeah, I'll have a leg. This goes on, he said, what the bloody hell do you think I'm killing centipedes?
I heard that. I heard about a shearer's cook who's dishing up chooks. And everybody's saying, I want a leg, I want a leg. She said, you think I'm cooking centipedes? Yes, that's a good one. Then,
Well, I think he's a pretty, you know, in a good way of doing in Mullawa like a farmer.
Yeah.
But he's a real hillbilly.
Yeah.
Who was ignorant as you can make him. Anyway, him and his wife, not long ago, they went over for a trip to the eastern states. And whoever occupied this particular berth in the ship, apparently it was they had to, before the ship got to its destination, they had to be the guests of the captain, eat at the captain's table, which is apparently a big honour on board ship. So anyway, they go and tell this fella that, you know, that he'd been selected and he had to have dinner. They wanted him to have dinner at the captain's table. They said, not on your life, he said. Me and my missus paid our fare the same as the rest. We ain't eating with no crew.
Dear. The lovely stuff. Sand is most of Western Australia is pretty sandy, is it?
There is a lot of, yeah.
I see, and you can grow anything on it.
Just about now with these new trace elements and all that. So they've got.
Interesting, isn't it?
This is how Eric Smart started.
Eric Smart, yeah, well that's what he's got his OBE with for that.
Who's he?
Eric Smart, he's
Scientist, isn't he?
No, he was
the world's biggest
wheat grower.
Wheat grower.
Yeah. He had properties all down around Mininu, Three Springs and all around there.
And he's...
Well, there was a terrific lot of light, all these places was nearly light land.
Yeah.
And he was the one that pioneered these, you know, trace elements and that, this urea and...
Yeah. Oh, urea trace elements, is it?
And all this, and you can grow real good crops with it anyway.
Hey, I wondered because it seemed to be clearing more and more land.
All the time, yeah. It's so easily cleared too.
That's true. What's it, a bulldozer or something?
Yeah.
Oh, goats around another one?
No, not now.
What have they done? How have they got rid of them?
Well, what was there they destroyed.
Yeah.
And now there's none around there now.
Oh,
anyway.
how did they get there? Like from the early days, were they?
I suppose that was, yeah.
Oh, they still good blokes like
Up along on the stations and that out from Mullawa, there's a lot of goats.
Are they running, what do they run wild?
Run wild. Or people that go up and get them and bring them and they ship them just to Singapore and that.
So that's
They
where
do?
this little one came from.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, they go up and go
What
up.
do they do? They ship them there from, they sell them for meat, do they?
Yeah.
I see. Oh, that's
Well, there's a lot of them slaughtered.
I showed you what they are.
There's
You know what we sell.
300 or 400 a week slaughtered here out of this abattoir here.
And what do they, they're not sold locally or anything?
No,
They
no.
all go to...
No, it goes to Singapore and some of those other places like
You
that.
can go with me. Have you ever tried to go with me?
Hello, KFC.
This is railway special jargon.
It's no, like I say, the way the duck. Before the diesels came in, there used to be the big P-class engines used to run up from Northam on the passenger trains to Mullawa, you see. They were the big ones, and they were all named after West Australian rivers. Just like these diesels here are named after Aboriginal tribes, you've seen the names on them. So these ones was named after West Australian rivers. There was a lot of them, the Murray, the Ashburton, the Fitzroy, you could go right down the middle, and they were all represented. Well, this particular one was the Avon. The name of it was the Avon. It had a big brass plate on the side of it, the Avon. And this day it had came in there to Mullawa, just came off the train, and it was all just out fresh out of the workshop. It all been done up, you know, all painted up and brassed up, and it really looked nice. And it was going down onto the turntable, you know, to turn, and you know, swaying along there. And I said to one of the fellas up there, I said, he was waiting together. I said, "Boy, Joe, she's a little beaut, isn't it?" See? He said, "What?" I said, "That, she's a little beaut, and she really looked nice too, you know, great big engine, and all looked nice." See? He said, "Oh yeah," he said, "you wouldn't think that if you had to work on her." He said, "She's a hot bitch, that." Oh, she said, "She's as rough as guts," you know, and all that, you know how they talk. And he started telling me all about, you know, all of it, just all in their own jargon, you see. So I made a verse up about it.
Oh, yeah.
And I called it Nice Girl. And this is it. But I'll explain it a bit as I go through it to you. See. But when I first set eyes upon her, how she took my breath away. Her tall and graceful figure, that gentle body swayed. My pulses were vibrating, only her my eyes could see, and although she did not know it, she had captivated me. So I asked the boys about her, for I knew they knew her well, and I was left aghast, dumbfounded, at the tales they had to tell. I scarcely could believe it, though I knew such things were true, that such dainty-looking females could behave the way they do. For they said she was a fast bitch, she was hungry, hot and rough, that you had to fuss around her, or the bitch would take the huff. That means go off steaming, see? Yeah. She was getting men in trouble every time they took her out, 'cause she needed certain treatment, beyond the shadow of all doubt. They said that when you were aboard her, you would find her really tough. That although you do your damnedest, you could not shove it in and up. That's the coal, you know.
Yeah.
It was in and out eternal. She was always wanting more, and she'd go to bits completely if you gave her one behind the door. That's when they're going up a hill.
Yeah.
When they're going up a hill or anything, and they're just about out of steam, they shove a couple of quick shovelfuls in, and shut the door quick, you know, just to get enough steam to take them over. And although she looked so dainty and so charming and so clean, it would seem that she was careless with her toilet and hygiene. For I learned amid amazement, and I found out all about how her snifter's blocked and dirty. That's a snifter problem. How her snifter's blocked and dirty. How she oft needs raking out. You know, the ash pans.
Yeah.
Disgustedly I listened of her morals low and base. How her squirt was always leaking. How she'd blow off in your face. That her horn stays were terrific. What a bitch she was to slip. And to crown it, her discharger was completely up to shit. All parts and parcels of the thing. See?
You go. Is that it?
And no, wait on.
Yeah. Completely up the shit.
Yeah, completely. Disgustedly I listened of her morals low and base, how her squirt was always leaking, how she'd blow off in your face, that her horn stays were terrific, what a bitch she was to slip, and to crown it, her discharger was completely up the ship. Oh, I forget now. They kept on criticising, and it did seem strange to me, for I was but the loco clerk, and she the Avon P. That's how it finished off.
Very good. Very good. Blow off me so they get a full head of steam, I
Full
think.
head of steam, yeah.
Very good. Very good. You remember the last verse?
Squirt is the injector or not?
Oh, I see, yeah. Very good indeed. Good injector, yeah.
What happened now? They all got scrapped, did they, Jack?
Beg pardon?
They're all scrapped now, are they? What happened to them?
They're just about all scrap, yeah, all those old ones are anyway. They've still got some steam engines, you know, in the service, but they're dying out. They're not going to replace them. As they finish, they'll be replaced with diesel.
Hasn't got quite the same romance, the diesel, has it?
No.
I don't think they've got the same personality to how others the diesel.
No.
I don't think you ever get fond of a diesel.
I don't know whether I can think of this one, but it's not. It's a clean one anyway. It was about an engine. The train, the old North train, was coming down from Nulla, and it was at Yalgoo, and it was 50 minutes late. It was always late, you know. There used to be a driver up there. They used to call him the Ace. I think his name was Hasty, but they used to call him the Ace. He was always, you know, to time in it, you know.
He was always which to time, huh?
You know, he could always pick up lost time. See?
Oh, I see, yeah.
The Ace driver. In the cab of old 250, that's the engine, you know, the number of the engine. In the cab of old 250, with a smile upon his face and his hand upon the throttle, sits our driver friend, the Ace. His engine oiled and ready, he awaits the word to go, and again, as not unusual, she is running 50 slow. The green flag now is waving, the whistle gives a scream. 250 starts exhausting as the Ace admits the steam. Leaving 50 Latex Yalgoo, he slips down the station yard with Jack Morris as his stoker and the dipper for his guard. Old 250 seems to know him as she steams along the track, her pole not slightly forward and her throttle full right back. Like some frisky well-bred filly, the milepost past her roll, with Jack Morris keeping steam up and the Ace at the controls. Oh no, I'll have to get away. It's a long time since I thought of it.
You're doing very well.
Yeah.
Well, listen, viewing Mr. Nulla Thomson at Meekasara, that's right. And it's July, it's early in July, 2nd or 3rd, and the 3rd. And Mr. Thomson was born at Kew, and he spent his life, when about, Mr. Thomson?
I was born in 1903.
1903,
Yeah.
and spent your life...
We shifted to Meekasara in 1904 or 5, and I was run over here when I was 6-year-old, that is 1909, and which left me with a dislocated knee, which I still...
Oh, what were you run over by?
Camel wagon.
A camel wagon? How did that come to happen?
Well, they were carting wood to the mines on camel wagons, and I knew, living where they used to pull up, I knew all the camels and the drivers, and we were coming into town one day, and on the Saturday afternoon, the uncle of mine was about 14 or 15, and I was 6, and my young sister was 2.5 years younger than us, and we were coming into the town, and I said, "Give us a ride." "What about give us a ride, Jimmy?" "Oh," he said, "you kids," he said, "you won't sit quiet when you get up on the wagon. Here's a couple of bob to go and get a ginger beer." So there was a ginger beer bow shed there where they were making it, and we went in and we caught him up again, and so I'm walking alongside of the wagon, and he said, I said, "What's wrong, Smoker?" I thought it was Smoker. Instead of that, he found out after he'd put a older camel in, and I touched this, walking alongside, touched the shaft with a stick, and he scooped me under the wheel. One wheel went over, he kicked me knee out of joint, and one wheel went over me knee, another one went, he jumped off to grab me, and they went a bit faster, and the second wheel went right across my stomach, so I had a 6-inch bruise. Therefore, they left the knee, they reckon it was only bruised, which it wasn't, it was out of joint, it only went pulling in, and it took them 5 or 6, well, a good bit to get my bowels to work. Everything was bruised inside, from what I can understand from my parents, you see. Anyhow, that was that, and I went back to started school again.
And never put your knee back in?
No, well, they found out why they couldn't put it back. In them times they had to operate, and they reckoned 99 chances out of 100 if they operated, they'd give me a stiff knee because it was callous in the what's name. Well, they tried everything. The people, mother took me to Perth and everything. They massaged me and tried everything, but it was callous inside. You see, and got through.
Okay, and were there doctors in? No, this happened in Kew, was it? Or was
no,
it
here in Meekasara.
I think was there a doctor here?
Yes, there was a doctor. He called himself Dr. Young, and he was young too. I mean, he wasn't. He was young and he's a practice, but
In fact, the lady that was here,
Don't talk in the back, love, and you can listen.
a midwife was here, and she said, told him then, he said it was only bruised, and she said it's not bruised, all it was a jerk in. This was when it was first, you see. That's all it wanted, pulling into joint. Anyhow, I finished up with that's what I got now, but I never affected me. I've won a high jump when I was 17 here, 4'11", and I'll go on before that. When I went back to school, the train was only as far as Kew, and I held the ribbon with a little girl here when it broke through the ribbon when the first train came from here.
What, when you were a kid?
Yeah.
I think the first train came through from Kew to Mixar, and you were you were supposed to hold the ribbon and the train broke through, like they do on bridges.
Yes. It was only come to Nanny, and we used to have to, everybody had to go to get the stores and green stuff from Nanny.
Was that in a big place?
Oh, beautiful, yes, big place. It was
bigger than Mixar in those days, was it?
Oh, well, not as big.
No,
near enough. That was when I was head of the town. There was 4 pubs there, and
what was it, a gold mining town, was it?
Yes, a gold mine.
Okay, and were your parents gold miners?
Yes, my father and mother. Well, mother was working in the father was working in the mines, and my mother was waitress at the one thing. That's where they, in fact, they met at Abbott's up here, a few 100 miles up from me, or a few miles from me.
And how many kids they had? How many brothers and sisters?
I got two. There was 4 of us in the family, 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
That's not a very big family for those days, is it?
No.
You're talking about most of them have 9 or 10. I get you. And when you went to school in Micasara,
done all my schooling here. Yes.
How old were you when you left school?
I left school in 1918 because my father was he went to the war, and I.
Now, when were you born?
1903.
Oh, well, you were 15. You had a fair bit of
schooling.
schooling.
I had a fair, yes. I had a fair bit of schooling, but I left on account of to his mother off with what they were getting, and I went out here onto the station 4 mile out, and I put in 3 years there, worked myself up to 50 shillings a week. And I asked for more, and he said they couldn't pay any more, but he said, I'll tell you what I'll do, boy. He said, if you like, he said, I just got a wire from Mr. Green at Roy Hill. He was a drover, Harry Green, and he said, I can get you a job with him at £3 a week if you like. So I went up there and I stopped with him for 3 years, and I gradually got on my own, you see. I went to in I'd done a few trips here in charge of Mr. Baines, Baines' plant from Mount Augusta. And I took charge of and brought with him supplying the plant, and I got a plant of my own. And
what do they call a droving plant? What is a plant?
Well,
what do you need?
It's your full gear, saddles, horses, and everything.
What else do you need? A wagon or something?
We had then. That's what I say. That's what that camel photo I showed you. I had a camels pulling the big dray with the stuff on. But we gradually got. Latter years I got down to international ute and a trailer on behind.
Oh, I see. And they had a camel with a dray. You have a bloke on the dray, like he was a cook.
Yes,
well, did you have a horse trailer or
yes,
something?
we had. I used to employ. We all did somewhere around 5 to 6 men, 5 men and yourself. But I always took 6 in case we had trouble. You see, and
I see.
Took 6 men, and I and then I went to horse breaking to Ashburton Downs, and when I took I'll never forget this, when I took to Ashburton Downs, I took the letterhead of the man that recommended me, and Bobby Knowles said to me, when he read it, he said, "Are you sure you're Mr. Thomson? You Nulla Thomson?" I said, "Well, I think so, sir." I said, "There's no other Nulla Thomson in the country." I said, "Well," I said nothing, and he said, "Go on, put your gear down, come over and have some morning tea, or afternoon tea it was, and then put your swags over there, and we'll get the horses in the morning." So I said, "Righto." And he come to me again, and he said, "You sure you're Nulla Thomson?" I said, "Yes." He wouldn't say nothing. So anyhow, they put the horses in, and he came down, sat on the rail, and he said, I cut one horse out, one of them that he wanted broken, and he stopped there for 10 or 12 minutes or something, or it might have been a quarter of an hour, watching me with the rope, and he sang out to me, "I will go on with him, break the lot." There was 30 of them to break. He only had a look at me, he thought, on account of the leg, that I wouldn't get out of me. Couldn't get out of the road or something. So then I went on to Onslow that year and went down there and rode the Centenary Cup win. In fact, I was most successful rider there for the.
And that was just when you were.
That was 1929.
How old were you then?
Well, 29 be 27 26, wasn't I?
Yeah, 26,
26.
I see.
And I was
What have you
20.
been doing in between then when you're
Well,
15?
all station work.
All station work.
Mhm.
And it was what, roughly, and then you'd been droving too, had you? Or you got the, you drove after that?
Yes, well, I was driving in between, like that's what we call all stock work.
Oh, I
But
see.
before that, I was most successful rider at Landor in 27, you see. In 1927, then I went, and of course from then on I developed weight and I had to give away the amateur riding and one thing and another.
Oh, I see. And was this when you used to know this chap Daniels?
Paddy Daniels in 1927, he was riding with me there, and he 2 years ago he rode at 40 years from the time we were riding together. He rode his winner out there that 2 years ago.
He told me now where was this Landor?
Landor,
He's
yes.
going up there again.
Yes, August to September it
He's
is.
getting a bit old for it, isn't he?
Oh, well, yes,
He's a good rider, though.
Oh, yeah, yes, good job, and he's lucky that he didn't put on weight, you see. He can ride a 10 stone odd now, you see.
He told me he doesn't drink. I thought that helped.
He used to be a bad drinker, and it frightened him. He got a bit of heart disease or something, or not, frightened him.
Stomach ulcers, I think, wasn't it? Stomach ulcers.
Stomach, yes.
That's right, yeah.
Anyhow, he give it up, and he's been a different boy ever since.
Yes, okay. And he's older than you, is he?
He's just about the same. Might be 12 months.
Yes,
He's about 66. I'm 66. He's about 67 or 68.
He'd be retired, like, is he?
Well, I don't know what. No, he still goes station work.
A couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of months a year out Kadadi. Yes, he's only allowed. You see, same as I am now, and then all the children. See, I'm invalid pensioner.
Yes, I see.
And they don't. I tell you, they don't give you much at all. You know.
They don't give you nothing for nothing, do they? And you pay for it, actually.
Yeah, well, there's only some of you on getting you're in taxation that you paid when you come back. I get a lousy $43 a fortnight, and I got 4 children still going to school. Well,
yes, that's right, isn't it?
and my other boy, he's just turned 16 the other day, and he turned 16 on the 18th, and our payday.
Hang the door up. Yeah, go on.
And our payday was on the 19th, and I never got that fortnight. They cut me $5, and I wrote to him about it. And
What, because of the...
only one day, though. Only one day, you see. Since he turned 16.
That's really
Oh, yeah.
And what, is he still at school?
No, he's working now. But, he's up with the brother-in-law's Mount Vernon, you see.
Oh, I see. He wants to go on the land like this.
He's like me, but I told him there's no future in it. There's no future in unless you've got a site of a place of your own or something like that. But to work wages, no.
Wages aren't much in the bush, are they?
Oh, what made us young fellas go to the bush was on account we got so much a week and keep, you see, and that's what they still get. You
Was it better in those days? You could get better money, say, out on the stations or droving than you could
yes, not like you get now.
Working.
Yes. Well, you'd get your £3 or £3.10 a week. And your keep, well, that keep makes a big difference when you understand.
Yes, I see. Yeah, and like in those, you do better out on the stations in the old days than you would in the town.
Yes, of course you would. Yeah,
I see. Yeah, and was it pretty rough sort of tackle, or did they?
The food was all right. The food was extra. Well, I mean, they used to say to me when I was putting my order in here, and them times I could get an order for bar potatoes and onions and things that potatoes, onions and butter. Some of the perishable stuff you'd have to get extra, but I get an order for say £40. Them pounds them days, 40 or 50 pounds for doing me 6 or 7 weeks. And they said to me, "What are you going on a picnic, Nulla?" I said, "Well, he said, God, you got tomato sauce and and pickles and honeys and what." Well, I said, "My contention is the bees not worth feeding, they're not worth employing." That's what I say.
Yeah. This is when you were driving.
Yes, when I was in charge. You see.
Did it take much to get like a lot of money to get a droving plant? Was it hard to get a plant together, or could any energetic bloke do it?
No, well, it cost a good few pounds. Your droving plant at the finish with 50. I for start only about 18 horses. You see.
What have you been?
Only about 18 horses. You see. At the finish up I had about 40, so I could chop the like a swap horse. I used to do 3 trips a year from Royal, 500 each time. 7 weeks it used to take me from Royal to Micah there. 7 weeks.
Oh, you mean?
Tell me about Andy, the Abbott. You'd get a good story from him, wouldn't she?
Oh, Andy. Yeah, well, we'll wait for Andy then.
He's too shy.
Oh, no, he wouldn't. Not if you were there with him, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, well, all right. Anyway, now tell us, with those 40 horses, would you take them all along with you every time, or would you be spilling some?
No, well, what I used to do is return my plant to Roy Hill after every year, see, but I'd only have what I wanted, 18 horses to 20, and the rest I'd leave at Roy Hill, you see. And if I got something that wasn't in between on the trip that lost condition, next time I went back, well, I'd swap him and get one of the fresh ones.
Oh, I see. Like you had an arrangement with Roy Hill.
Yes, they had them there all the time.
And did you pay them for looking after them?
No,
Oh, I see. Yes, they've got plenty of grass, haven't they?
Plenty of grass. No, I didn't have. Seeing I was man-powered, and that's what hurt me a little bit too. That I was man-powered to keep the beef up to the soldiers, and yet I can't put myself in as a return soldier.
Oh no, you can't win. I know. My husband can't get a war service home, although he was in the army.
Yeah.
He couldn't be in the RAF because he wasn't naturalised. You know, and all that sort of thing. You know, and you
yes.
suffer.
Well, as I say, I try to get away. I put in go down to Karrakatta and horse break when you see, to horse break, so I'd be able to say, oh yes, I'm a returned man. And I passed everything, ignoring the leg, ignoring the leg, and all it was blood pressure.
Oh,
of course,
okay.
I didn't know how to go.
Thanks very much. Yeah, beautiful.
I didn't know that I had to go to the before the board today, and I was relieving barman down here, and of course the boys were in from the bush, and we drank a bottle of whiskey that morning before, because naturally my blood pressure was up at home.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, well now going back to when you were droving, then you had your own plant. Now how long do you have your own plant for?
For 13 years, 13 or 14 years. Well, once I got it, I was 13 years there, and of course then the only thing that made us give it away that I never thought of it. Shut up now, you stop it now.
Yeah. And
the only thing that made it give it away was that the trucks took over. You understand? Now don't slam that. Let him out and let him go to.
Yeah, just don't slam the door up. Yeah, the trucks took over.
What
is this recently, more or less?
Well, it's
10 years.
Yeah, about 10 years. 10 years, you see.
And you couldn't compete, could you?
Oh well, we could compete, but
you couldn't get the job.
Couldn't get them because they were landing me so well. You see, when they first started off, they only had a truck and trailer. They'd fetch 8 on the truck and 12 on the what's name. And I said, you'll never get us off the road. In 7 weeks you can deliver that 560 or 600. The only thing that made us, we could only take. I'm sorry, lady, but the only thing that why we couldn't take more. I brought 850 down one trip, but I didn't have to pull water. The water was the thing, you see. You had to pull water with a whip on a whip pole, and
where's this?
On the road they had wells every.
They don't have windmills.
No, they had government wells, you see, which now they've gone to the pack. You couldn't. Some of my native boys have said to me, "What about we go droving again, Nulla?" You know, but I said, "You got no chance now. Can't pull the bubba. That's water. You see, can't pull the water now because there's no wells equipped. You understand?
How would you do it?
We had a whip horse, and I had a 32-gallon big canvas bucket with a big ring. And the canvas bucket, you see, and you learn to land the canvas bucket, hold it, then you let it flow up into the trough. And when I was at the motor,
horse, you had a horse.
I had a horse, but at the finish, I give the horse away to save expenses for feeding them when we was drought time. I used to hook it onto the front axle of the Land Rover and face the well where there was and reverse to pull it up and then go back.
I see. The horse didn't walk round and round.
No,
they walked backwards and forwards.
The man had to lead it up there on the bucket. You see, you had to have a man.
And you pulled it up with a bucket. That pulled up with a bucket, did it?
32-gallon.
32-gallon. Well, it'd take a bit of watering, a big mob, wouldn't it?
Well, of course they would. It used to take us 2.5 to 3 hours. But we used to cut them in little mobs. We wouldn't put them all at the drop at once. They'd hold them back about a few hundred yards, you see, and then they'd cut them in small mobs. You'd have to keep them back further if you didn't get water every day, but I worked it that way. They used to try and get water every day, you understand?
Otherwise you'd have to give them more, like at a time.
Well, they'd break away from them. They were nothing much to eat, and naturally they'd looking for water, you see. As long as you give them water, and of course then I got a Tommy Hawks and used to cut the drought. There was no much feed at all. I cut scrub lots of times right down here, and then from 3 Rivers in, 120 miles from here, from 3 Rivers, and the squatters used to feed them on hay. You see, we'd put so many bales of hay on the camp, and believe me, once your car passed them or whatever you had, and your horses went, them bullocks wouldn't look for anything to do. They knew the camp was on ahead, and they'd be moo moo and looking to go on. You see.
And what would 800 be? A pretty big mob, would it?
Oh well, that was fair enough. 800 from there, but as I say, you couldn't handle more than 550 on on the well. You see, that's what we mostly had. 500 to 550. That's including your few killers. You see, you always allowed. You're supposed to get one in every 100. Same as in the sheep business. You get so many killers for.
Okay. Did you? How far apart of the government wells roughly?
They were. Well, they were roughly only about 18 mile apart. You see.
18. That was a day's travel, is it?
No, but what we didn't get there at night. What we used to do is water at midday, pull it about 10:30 or 11 o'clock. That's when they start to get thirsty. Water them, and then they'd lay up till 2 o'clock, and then you'd feed on as far as you could that night, so that you could be in the next day to the next well. You understand? There was some of them shorter than that. You see. And
was it a hard life, Travis?
oh, it was a beautiful life if you had good men. Truly, it was. I mean, as I say, I reckon it's a beautiful life. So, but all the boys said, if you had a good plant, it was like a picnic. You wasn't in the same camp every day, you see, and you'd go on and everything going right, and they used to, and the bullets quiet and everything, as long as everything was quiet, and it was beautiful.
Did you used to sort of do work on contract for most of the same men, or did you have to pick up, did you sort of say do Roy Hills every year, or did you?
Yes, well, as I say, they manpowered me to do Roy Hills.
Oh, I see.
You see, they manpowered me to do that.
Oh,
but
that
otherwise,
was your job. You did from Roy Hill.
Roy Hill to make it there, and
back.
And they guaranteed, oh, I knew it. Yes, every leaf was. You know, they guaranteed me 1,500, and then a year, and then if there was any sheep, Mr. Jim Smith was the manager then. That's his son down here, Ray Smith, down at the garage down here. He was the manager and a beautiful man. If there was a mob of sheep going and it was starting to get warm, he said,